chit chat video, a little reaction, all of that kind of mixed in. Before we go ahead and get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. For my Purple Heart member gangs, you guys will be seeing this live once I re-upload it on YouTube. So thank you guys in advance for your support. If you yeah, I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're going to go ahead and get into what the topic is about. So I decided to title the video, Would I Move to Europe if things got worse in Canada? And I think that's a discussion that a lot of people are having around the country. And I'm not going to say it's not something that I've thought about in the past. Of course, I have a lot of family in Europe, in England, and in so forth. So there's always that connection, that tie to Europe anyway. So yeah, of course, it has come up in the past, but never, I don't think it ever was in a permanent way. It was more so like, like a long visit, excuse me. I have a frog in my throat, guys. So if I'm clearing my throat, please excuse me in advance. So yeah, more terms of like maybe like a 6 month visit, or like, when you retire, go for longer periods. That's kind of traditionally what people do. Either they go to the islands or they go to Europe, kind of 6 months here, 6 months there. And that's just kind of how life plays out. But now the discussion is kind of different. It's more so like, if things became so bad in Canada that it was like unlivable, would you move to Europe permanently? And I think, you know, I'm just thankful that to have a Commonwealth passport that would allow me to move about through Europe, not necessarily through England, because there are certain visa requirements now implementing, excuse me, in a lot of European countries. You can't really travel as freely as you used to, just because of the way the world is now. So there are still certain countries within Europe that you can get to immediately. You don't need to go through a lengthy visa process or any of that stuff. You may have to get like an electronic, they're calling it like it's kind of like the electronic entry document, something of that nature, where it's more of like a checking in system. Like, I know when you're going to Jamaica on the plane, they give you like a form. You got to fill it out, where you're going, who you're going to, how long you're going to be there, da 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 da. Now that's going to be more of a requirement, but in an electronic form, if that makes sense. And you'll have to have that upon entry to most European countries now. So that's not a problem. It's not an issue. It's technically not a visa, so you shouldn't have an issue. So yeah, there are tons of European countries, and I've researched this extensively. I've been up late nights. Throughout the years, just kind of going through different countries, their immigration process, what's the requirement, all that type of stuff. But more so from a, like I said, not like a flight or you guys get what I'm saying, not from like a, oh, I'm so scared standpoint, more so from a leisure recreational standpoint. But now we had a conversation in my family, in my household, about, you know is Europe gonna be, the place to be in the future? And excuse me, I feel that a lot of Canadians are having this conversation, whether, they have familial ties, I'm sorry, to like Ireland, Scotland, Germany, France, Belgium, wherever, like in Europe, a lot of people have familial ties. So it wouldn't be difficult to kind of, become an expat in those countries. And it's sad, but like I said, I'm not really gonna dwell on the negativity. Everything happens for a reason, and you know who knows, as long as I know in my review mirror, okay, Europe is an option. It is an option. It is a serious, serious, serious option. And that's something that we are definitely going to be looking into. I just feel that things are not ever gonna be the same. And I don't know how I feel about that. As things become more and more difficult. Um, yeah, more and more difficult for others. Um, even if it's not negatively impacting me at the moment, you just never know what the future holds. And that uncertainty, it keeps you up at night. It really, really does. And I'm already insomniac. Like, I'm already dealing with that. You guys know, well, for the people who um, follow me on my channel and stuff like that, or on social media in general, everybody knows I talk about it all the time about battling with insomnia. So this is just definitely not helping. Definitely keeps you up at night worrying about the future. But yeah, I'm just grateful that we have that connection, um, that we can make those decisions if need be. And I think that's definitely something that's worth looking into, especially if, this whole thing is just gonna implode. And there's talks of military this and who's beefing up that, and everybody's this and that. I just want to be where I would feel safe. And like I said, I was saying to somebody yesterday, I'd rather be surrounded by a safety net. I'd rather be in a place where I know that, your safety is going to be a priority, and that the governments, and surrounding countries have the same agenda and the same goal, to keep their citizens safe. And that's preferably where I would like to be, obviously. So yeah, definitely, Europe has definitely come up over the last couple days, as a contingency route, um, just in case you need to get out of Dodge. um, and that's sad. But I'm also turning 47 this year, and I'm thinking Europe might not be such a bad idea. I definitely want my daughter to grow up in a safe society. I want her to be safe. Obviously, every parent wants that. So, I feel that if the place becomes more volatile, she won't have that opportunity here. There were already so many things going on a in our society. Now to add this on top of everything else is just, um it's hard to see how this is not like super bleak, even if it's not, like I said, negatively impacting you, just the people around you, just to be around all of that suffering and all of that stuff is, like, I don't even know if that's something I can be around, because I just don't know if that's something I'm one of those people who is always worried about what's going on in the heads of others around me, whether it's be on the train, in the mall, public spaces. People are, mentally unstable sometimes because of stress. And they just kind of don't know how to cope, and everything just kind of implodes. And that's what kind of scares me the most. It's not the people screaming and shouting on the corners of the street and saying this and saying that. It's the people that are just super, super quiet. They creep me out the most. And when people are stressed, especially when you live in a society that is not used to high stress, everybody's used to just being chill, mellow. Life is not, super difficult. Everybody had prospects in their future. Everybody was positive, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, plummet. Everything just flipped upside down. The depression, the this, everybody. It's just a lot. Especially if you're like a energy sensitive person. Oh my good lord, like an empath. Oh, this is not our season, because everywhere you turn is suffering. I don't know how else to put it, right? Everywhere you turn, people are in crisis. And um, it just can be overwhelming, especially if you care. It can just overwhelm you a little bit. So yeah, I definitely, I am concerned about how things are gonna be in the future. Just, I'm not sure if things are gonna get better fast enough. Also, I am aware, because like I say, I do my research, so I am aware that Europe has its issues, and they're dealing with a lot of cultural issues and things of that nature. That's why I said you have to do your research, where to go, what to do, where you're going. Obviously, I wouldn't be going somewhere where there is all of this stuff going on. I don't, that, yeah, I wouldn't need to go there. But definitely there are other places where you can migrate to that is relatively still safe. Um, it feels like you're like watching one of these bad apocalyptic movies, when people are looking for somewhere safe to run to, and there's this huge mass exodus. Like, what was that old movie? Um, LA Burning, or Exiting LA, or something like that. It was some type of movie where it was like the world was coming to an end, of course, and it was always gonna be in LA, and there was this mass exodus of people and cars and people carrying their pets, and it was just chaos. We're not quite there yet. Not to be too dramatic, but that feeling is kind of swirling in there, where people are starting to look for their escape routes, if that makes sense. People are starting to think more hardly about, leaving. People were leaving anyway. If you guys keep up with, our news and our politics and all of that, there was, like I said, already issues. A lot of new immigrants and people who were, coming here to start a new life and all of that. Because of the economic situation and things of that nature, and the change in immigration policies, a lot of people were kind of on the way out anyway. I don't know how many YouTube videos I saw where people were saying they're leaving Canada. So it's not like this isn't already kind of happening on a micro level. But now I think it will kind of intensify, where it's just not just new immigrants, or, it's just be any and everybody. But yeah, anyway, I just kind of wanted to kind of sit and talk about that a little bit, because I know I brought it up in my last video, kind of, flippantly, say, well, yeah, you could just, move to Europe. But I just wanted to kind of put a serious context to it, and to, kind of just express kind of the thoughts, and not just my thoughts. Lots of people kind of talking about that now amongst themselves. I know when I went into work, that's all people were talking about. Where can we escape to? um, but anyway, we still hope, that things kind of settle down. It's not like it's Armageddon over here, but again, if you're not someone who thrives on uncertainty and things being volatile, and just just the up and down emotions, if you don't thrive in those type of environments, then yeah, over here right now, not good. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it to the end of my little mini video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're subscribing to the channel, all of that good stuff. We thank you for your time. Stay up and stay blessed, guys. Stay safe wherever you are, and we will catch up with you guys in another video. Deuces.